looks I'm working on getting the sound from Discord, but it looks like it doesn't want to pick up everybody from Discord. So, it's fine, your glorious lie.
Did you feed them?
Yes, I did. Hello, we are working out a couple of tech issues. We've got a kobold in the system as is usual, so we're trying to fix it. But welcome, thank you for coming. Also, my cat is being extra annoying today, so if you hear a lot of screaming in the background and see him climbing on me, well, that's where we are right now. No. Totally fine. Yeah, nobody murders anybody. Um, yes. Glamour, can you hear anybody, or is it just me? She did mute herself. I'm going to shake her. That's okay, there shouldn't be audio through the stream yet anyway. So long as you guys can hear Discord, everything is happy. Well, that's because there is no sound from Foundry yet. So there wouldn't be any other sound except Discord right now. You what? Okay, you can only hear me. Great. Fabulous. Arg.
Is my mic picking me up?
Yes. I blame the kobolds.
It's part of the charm.
There we go, I fixed it. It's
Gosh,
because
where
my
did you tell?
computer was sourcing it through the wrong thing. You guys should be able to hear everybody now.
Hi.
Hello.
Victory is ours. Okay,
Huzzah.
so... Yes, thank goodness. So yes, welcome to Shadows of Scaevolanum. I am your handy-dandy DM. These are my lovely players around me. We are down a player this week who is not feeling well, and so we hope he feels better. And our usual moderator, the Friendly Glitch, it is his birthday, so he is off doing birthday things. So happy birthday to you, Glitch. We love you.
Happy birthday, Glitch.
Happy birthday.
Yes. Just as a reminder, I dropped it in the stream. Our music attribution is behind a bit.ly link, so please check that out. We use a lot of music, and I use a lot of images, and a lot of maps, and a lot of assets, and those creators really deserve the love. So please check it out. They are phenomenal. All of that said, it is time. It is time for me to remember how to use my programs.
We might be here all night.
You be quiet.
Just working the kinks out. We've got this.
Or working the kinks in.
Maybe.
Sorry.
I'm not kink shaming, I'm just kink asking why.
Sorry. Okay. I have to mod Behind the Glamour. That's probably a smart idea.
Probably yes.
That would be helpful. Sorry guys, I'm still figuring all of this stuff out. I'm new to Twitch and I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row.
But it's okay.
is okay, but, you know, it
'Cause-
does make the start of streams a little bit exciting. So, how is everybody this week?
We are great.
I'm in a very curious state.
I would like to say well.
I'm in a curious state, wondering why my DM hasn't taken time to learn how to use Twitch in the rest of the week instead of, during stream time.
I
Well,
will
where's
stab
your
you.
hat, Zima? You forgot your hat.
It's way over there and it's buried and I can't go look for it.
DM, put your,
Yes.
put your
If only you
cameras
brought
on
it closer
full
during the
screen.
week.
Oh yeah, I should probably switch screens.
Yeah.
See, that's why you don't message me on Discord while I'm doing this, because I will switch screens and I will be wrong.
I knew where my hat was during the week, but then my wife buried it.
Everything is my fault.
Well, since it's your purse and your sketch pad and your pillows and your blankets over there on top of it, yes.
Lies.
I think it's your
Shall I
purse.
turn my webcam and show everyone?
Nobody needs to see that.
Okay.
Hey, I think it's your purse. It's okay. You can.
It's
you
mine.
can-
Hey.
You're
My
friend.
purse is far more fabulous.
It's probably true.
My purse is covered in Jacksepticeye pins.
Wait, this is
All
not
right,
surprising.
so that said, I think I got the modding things done. Thank you so much for your patience, everybody. And I believe we should be good to go. All right, so last week we were just discovering that the individual you were after had retreated to a mine in the mountains. And you were trying to figure out if he was the one behind these attacks. You certainly have learned that he was there when those specters were brought forward, and you are trying to figure out who's attacking the cities and why.
Now, are we still in the...
You are
Aqueduct.
We
still,
left to go
Things-
to the mountains.
you were planning on leaving your leaving behind to head to the mountains. You had not quite left yet, so if you'd like to
Okay.
take the opportunity to do any preparing, you certainly can do so.
Let's go rob a house.
I think
Oh, no.
we should have a long rest.
A long rest then.
We did skip a session. I think we should have a long rest.
But in
Yeah.
our own place, we're not going to break into anyone's house.
Indeed, you do have a house.
If you insist, we can go to our own house.
I know, I take all of the fun out of all the adventure.
Just terrible.
Just awful.
Aviara, the wet blanket.
That's me. That's what they used to call me at the monastery.
All right, you return home from the magical college, climbing back up out of the well. How you get Frost up that rope, I will never know, but I'm too wise enough not to ask.
Frost is a really talented dog.
Rallis says
We
he's
asked for a mage portal.
perfect. There actually was the teleportation portal.
Cool.
That
Oh.
said, you were when you arrive home, Rallis says he's really not feeling well and heads upstairs to just choose a bedroom and crash there. He must have eaten something funny.
I will certainly offer him some healing attentions before he drifts away.
Feel free. He comes over, gratefully accepts the healing, and then kind of drags himself towards the stairs. None of you have actually been upstairs yet.
There's an upstairs.
There is, in fact, an upstairs and a downstairs.
The only thing
Wait.
Eden's currently concerned about is getting something to drink and then meditating.
Sounds fair.
I don't know so much about the meditation, but drinking sounds good.
Well, there's some alcohol in the crates over in the kitchen area, which still isn't stocked beyond some alcohol, some old bread, and some very hard cheese, but it's like Parmesan, so it keeps. And there was the plate of vegetables and fruits that your handler brought by earlier.
Right.
He's not there. Nobody sees that.
Are you sure?
I am sure no one saw anything. Stop judging me.
It's haunted.
Did not mean to do that.
Nobody saw nothing. However, yes, there is some food there. It's nothing great, but it's enough to keep you going since you guys haven't stocked your kitchen yet.
And really, this is just a stop before we go to the mountains, right?
Yeah, you guys were there to rest,
Absolutely.
get some food.
So Eden goes into the house, promptly sits on the couch, and goes catatonic for 4 hours.
Glorious. He doesn't even go check out his bedroom. He just goes catatonic on the couch. He's a tired boy.
In that time,
He just
Mordo
vaults
goes
over
to
the
check
table.
out check out the upstairs and take a glamorous, or as glamorous as allowed, bath.
Yeah, he can absolutely take a look upstairs.
Avi's a little curious about the basement, so
If you go down the stairs, it will actually just teleport you there. Just drag your token down to the stairs and it'll poof you to where you're going.
oh my. Ooh.
The basement is full of cobwebs. There are some crates down there that don't seem like they have much in them, but it looks like there's space for you to set up shop down here if you were of the mind to. Maybe an alchemist's workshop or a laboratory. Upstairs, Mordu finds the bedrooms are serviceable, not elegant, but serviceable, and with time and his attention, they could be even functional.
It's the one on the lower left.
There is a third floor if he decides to go exploring further, but
Found what he wanted.
all right then.
Mostly.
Oh, hi.
Hello. Excuse me,
It's a hallway
milady.
party.
But the party was in your room.
It's in the hallway. It's so fetch.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
But that may be.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we lost an Aviara.
Oh no.
Uh-oh! Well, she's been abducted by kobolds. We'll find her again.
She got caught in a cobweb.
We'll get her back. Looks like... Are you disconnecting and reconnecting to Discord? Yeah, I'm gonna...
Hey, our DM, our glorious DM, has returned to us from the Nether.
Hey.
Yeah, my Discord was disconnecting and reconnecting every 3 seconds, and I had to reboot it. It's having issues. And it still says it's starting on my screen, so that's exciting. To answer you, Wilbo, our characters they're level, what, 1 still?
What?
Mhm.
Yep, they're level
They're
1,
big.
so, you know, starting them low so that I can feed them to things. I mean, help them grow and learn.
Oh yes, definitely not torture.
No,
Not
never
suffering.
torture. I don't torture my players. I'm too nice for that. I typically like to start my adventures at
I
level
totally
1
believe you.
also. It gives good growth for the characters, and in 5e, which doesn't have the same type of depth that Pathfinder does, for example. I'm going to be comparing 5e to Pathfinder forever, by the way. I find that I much prefer starting at level 1 because it gives the maximum amount of growth and development over time. Oof. Well, I like to I like to let them level relatively quickly. I don't keep them low level forever, which is, you know, because I'm not a horrible DM. And some people like to keep low levels, but I like to let people progress. I'm running a Pathfinder game right now where my players started at level 1, they're now level 13, and by the end of that campaign, they should be 20. My goal is to have the gamut from 1 to 20, all the way through. Zima is still rebooting, and I think Tanya probably got hit by the same thing I did.
What was that? Were you attacked by kobolds?
I was responding to Tanya. She was messaging me about the state of her internet. She rebooted her internet completely, and Jay is having issues getting
We lost
Discord
our
to start.
moderator.
We've lost everybody. Everybody's gone. They've left us alone. We are here to. The moderator's back. We have to behave. Rats.
Oh. Foiled again.
So, yes, usually we don't have this kind of technological problem. It seems like Discord just tanked itself for some reason today. That's just how things go.
That's what happens.
Indeed. So, while we're getting things going here, right, pesky kids and our darn kobolds. I don't know. I blame them for everything, really. Them and my friend Chris, who's not here to defend himself, so everything is his fault.
No steel candle.
Yeah, Vizia. Nikolai, you know Vizia. Everything's his fault. See? You know.
Or your fault.
My fault?
It was your fault.
I watched the video.
How long did it take you to watch the video?
Shut up, that's how long. Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. If anybody has jumped in and is trying to follow us right now, normally this doesn't happen, and kobolds in the machine, I guess. That's okay. So, the two people above me, Eden and Mordu. Mordu I don't know so well, but Eden I've known a really long time. We've been role-playing together for ages upon ages. It's been a ride, and he's a delightful human being. Also, plugging his store, he runs a... No? You're not a delightful human being? That is a lie. You are a delightful human being.
You are a delightful human
No, I
being.
am a lie.
Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. He runs a fantastic, nerdy bath bomb store called Pop Fission. His stuff is amazing, and I love
It
it.
is amazing. I also love
So,
it.
props to him.
There will be more D&D stuff.
Yes, there will be, and as soon as there is, we're gonna start plugging that hard. We do not have Twitter right now. I'm going to be working on that. Yeah, we definitely could. Tanya is suggesting we maybe do some out-of-character chat in Foundry, so... of course, that'll make in-character chat more complicated. Because doing a text-based roleplay for everybody to see would be fun.
That would
Oh,
be
God.
fun. I love text-based roleplay.
My brain
It
not
is,
okay
in
for
fact.
text-based roleplay today.
Yeah. No, you do not have the capacity. But Discord didn't punish you. You're fine.
Yeah.
Just
Just saying, I
me today.
totally
Now that
into
Okay,
you
that.
said it, though.
Since it seemed until Tanya and Jason are back, they're having some issues. Why don't we just continue on with what we were doing, and let you guys prepare for your trip, and maybe Mordu and Eden can have an adventure.
Absolutely.
Eden is in a trance.
Well,
For now,
he's-
temporarily. Okay,
he's
Mordu's
got
solo
to be woken
adventure.
up.
All right. This is going to be just, we're going to follow
Mordu's-
Mordu around. Horrible things will happen. Let's go.
Mordu's
Mordu's great adventure.
his adventure involves choosing a bedroom, which
I'm here.
changed his mind. He wants the one up there with the red comforter. He wants that
Okay.
one. That's up on the 3rd floor.
Aha, we have a Tanya back.
Yay!
We have a Tanya. Sort of.
Hi.
Thankfully.
Now we're just waiting on a Zima.
Yep, Zima got hit by the same kobold swarm you did, so.
Wow.
But
We're
we
having
can
a solo
continue on.
adventure
We're just
with
gonna
me.
keep moving forward. You guys are gonna we're having a Mordu and Aviara adventure. Oh, this is gonna go well. Well, Eden takes a nap.
Look, Eden just wants his
That'd be
bardic inspiration
fantastic.
reset, okay?
Right. Did
Well,
we... Wait, were there beds?
Thank
there are.
you.
If you go upstairs or into any of the rooms, you will find there are beds.
Well,
There
the
There are two
last
rooms
room
up
I
here
looked...
too.
The last room I looked in had someone in it. So...
You guys are welcome to choose your rooms. Eden has decided he doesn't need a room. Rooms are for plebs. He has a couch.
Eden will just choose a room later. There are plenty of bedrooms available.
I'm just giving you nonsense because I
and if he doesn't like the bedroom that is left over, he'll just steal more dudes.
Ah, okay. We'll see how that goes.
This is mine now.
He is not above sharing a bed with anyone.
Snuggle time it is.
Can't have that that in
All the
public.
all the bedrooms are more or less the same, with mild differences in furniture and furnishings. They are all in similar states of, this place is a bit musty. It looks like it hasn't been used in a long time. It could use a good cleaning. The windows maybe could be opened. The 3rd floor has a table and a fireplace. Spaces for people to sit. The basement is more or less just storage space. And the 2nd floor is pretty much all bedrooms. However, none of these rooms are set. Now, the reason I introduce you to these is because over the course of game, if you choose to furnish and change your household, I will be updating the map.
Ooh, lovely.
It's like The Sims, she said out of character.
If you treat this like, if you treat this like The Sims, I'm trapping your character in a room and taking away the door.
Rude. I mean, rude.
No, not the room. You have to do it in a pool.
They fixed that glitch.
Or a bathroom.
I've said that.
All right. So,
Why'd you lock me in my room?
I didn't. I could, though.
No.
After a few hours, you all get some rest. You can take a long rest on your character sheet should you need one for the purposes of resetting spells and healing. And we shall count that as the heading over to the next day.
Awesome.
And
Well,
I
we better get a start bright
absolutely
and
know
early.
where that is. I am in no way confused.
You're in no way lost?
I am in no
Uh-oh.
way lost.
Me either.
Before they leave, even though Ral is not feeling well, Eden goes and harasses him for a map because he's the only one that knows the way to the mountain.
Relis, he sort of rolls over in bed and complains and spends most of his time trying not to, well, do things nobody wants to see on stream. And he eventually pulls out a piece of parchment from his bag and draws a rough map. It's honestly, stick figures look better. But he draws you a rough map indicating you are to go east and north. If we open the world map here.
There's my boy. Hi, Frost.
If we head over onto the regional map here. It's so shiny.
Where are we?
The thing I just pinged right there with the stream goblin is the city of Scaevolanum. That is where you live.
Oh.
Cool.
And where
I want to
we're
go to
heading-
Stonehenge. Sorry.
Yes, you can go to the Stonehenge. That is in the next country over, Abalum, so that is a thing. Where you are headed, the Dwarven mine is up in the mountains. Up over here to the northeast. If you follow the river up through the woods to, well, not so much grandmother's house we go, there's a small road leading to a hamlet at the foot of the mountains, but the mountains themselves are your eventual destination.
Interesting.
So we could just ride the river the entire way and get there way faster, right?
You absolutely
mean,
could.
There's upstream and there's downstream, and it looks like we'd be going upstream. I mean, if you're a salmon, I'm a salmon.
Who's going to row, if that's the case?
Surely we can walk by the river. A stroll along the riverside seems lovely.
Agree. I think a stroll along the riverside sounds magnificent.
Of
Looks
course,
like we have a
due
Zima
out
returning.
the barge.
Your feet won't get muddy at all, Eden. Done.
Zima says not to count our hatch before they chicken, apparently.
So it's settled then. I'll walk along the riverside.
I mean, the water would have been nice, but if you say so.
You're
If you
volunteering
want
to
to
row
swim,
upstream. You
we'll walk beside
may.
There are many of us, many hands make light work. I'm just saying.
You could also probably hire a barge. Just putting that.
There's
out there.
that.
There is that. We could hire a barge.
I mean, you could
Well,
also
we
jump
did
in the
just
water
get
and
paid.
swim. I mean, that's your prerogative, I suppose.
I only
And it
boat
seems
paddle.
to go on a boat ride. So I think we should hire a barge.
I mean, as little work as possible for me and as little of getting these clothes dirty again as possible would be fantastic.
I agree.
All right, so I'm going to presume you gather some rations from the food that's at the house. You know, put some things in a bag to make sure you've got food on the way. Except for Mordu,
And
who
Edna
probably just
grabs
takes all the
as
wine and
much money
wastes-
as he can.
Correct. Lots of wine. Mordo provides the wine.
It's very
Mordo, this
Studio
isn't a
Ghibli.
party.
Says
I
it.
take the kerchief with the cheese and the bread. It's very Studio Ghibli. Like,
I approve. Yeah, the group collectively, Ted prepares to go. Henrik, unfortunately, something comes up in his personal life and he has to depart the group in order to tend to that. However, Rallis stays behind, still feeling unwell from the night before. He says he will catch up with you, but he's having a day. You head out into the city, and it isn't particularly difficult to find a person with a barge. It's a very common way of moving cargo up and down the river. There are loggers, all sorts of folks who use the river for travel. That's why the city was built there, in fact. So you head down to the... It's not exactly, call it a docks per se, but it is a few piers that jut out into the water with small boats attached to them, and a few people linger around that area, watching, waiting. Some of them are fishing. What are you looking to approach? Like, who are you looking for exactly?
Someone that looks trustworthy enough to row us up the river on a barge and won't steal our money.
I feel like you should do the talking in that department.
I mean,
Just
I
don't
will
people
say
have to talk.
that the Baron might know more people than I do.
You are correct. There are. I have done this before, many times.
I mean, you do have to work with the merchants more often than I do.
Can I make a suggestion that you roll deception? I'm just saying.
Go for it. Yeah, hold on. Where is
Not
it?
sure.
I'm gracious. Nope, that's not it. Oh my gosh,
Look,
I have
It's
completely
okay.
lost.
Just open your character sheet and you will see deception on your skills list.
Hold
And
on.
it'll highlight red, then you just click it.
I can't even find my character sheet right now.
Oh. Okay.
Hold on.
I can put your token on the map so you can use that if you need it.
Because we changed the map, and now I don't know where it is.
Your token isn't on the map right now.
I know, so how do I open
There
my
he is.
character sheet?
We
You
will go after
don't
that after
do-
stream.
Cool. Sorry.
That's okay.
Holy
Did you
crap!
say to roll?
Yep.
What did you say to roll?
Deception.
Deception, please.
Deception.
To convince them that you have done this many times before, naturally.
Many a time.
Welcome back, Zima. Oh no!
I believe him.
That was, hold on.
Wow.
You are absolutely certain that Mordu is trying to lie. He's making a desperate attempt, but he's never done this before.
Never done it before in his life. But regardless, he looks for
Useless
someone
rogue. Useless
that
rogue.
looks trustworthy. He can fake it. For someone that looks trustworthy with something nice, but not too expensive, to get them all safely up the river.
Well, most of them look like fishing boats or cargo haulers or barges for that sort of thing. None of them look like they'd be an exceptionally comfortable ride. Maybe functional, but not super
Right.
comfy. But it's dry,
not fish.
mostly.
I suggest we
Definitely the cargo.
one that carries fish. Perhaps one that carries,
Textiles.
I don't know, textiles. There you go.
There's a barge unloading some fine textiles not too far away. There's a gentleman standing out front. He's kind of got to look to him.
Hey, he looks very trustworthy, don't you think? He looks like
No.
a guy. Let's get to him. So we go up to this fine gentleman. Good day, sir.
Hi.
Might we request your services to ferry us up the river?
You can request them. Gotta pay for them, but you can request them.
Of course. Of course. How much would you say? To get us up
What you
towards
got?
the mines.
And how far are you going?
And steps in
2
front
months.
of the noble. Anyone who asks how much we have shouldn't probably not get our wares and their business.
And then Zima steps up behind both of them and just crosses his arms.
Your friend's pretty big.
He is, and he's not afraid to use it.
Absolutely
Oh.
not. So I think you will be giving us a fair price today, sir.
You absolutely can roll intimidation. You have to make sure you hit the 3. Well,
Ooh.
the first one is. I'm gonna take the first one.
Don't take the first one. That's not cool. Let me just re-roll it.
Okay.
That was a glitch.
Fine. You get 1.
It's not much better.
Zima crosses his arms and kind of looms over the group for a second, then starts sneezing and can't stop.
Oh, great.
Good job.
Great.
Right into Eden's hair.
He quickly moves out of the way.
Zima just follows and continues sneezing.
You do not stop, Zima. I will push you into the river.
The barge owner just watches all of this.
Right, the price. Nefarious.
Well, like I said, how far up the river are you going?
We are going to the Dwarven Mountains.
We're going to the Jordan Mountains, to the mines, towards the mines.
All the way to the top, huh? Okay, well,
Yes.
that's gonna be like a 3-4 day trip. Do I gotta feed you, or are you feeding yourself?
We have our own rations, sir.
Ourselves. We'll feed ourselves.
That's convenient. Let me think. A day's travel, maybe 4 silver for the lot of you, I think. Because I mean, I'm
I've been
going
kind of-
part that way anyway.
Eden kind of smiles at him and goes, "Perhaps you recognize me. Do you like watching entertainment? I'm going to roll charisma."
All right.
This worked so well the last time.
Right? Oh well.
And gives him the finger guns. He's like, yeah, I've seen you around. All right. How about this? 3 silver and you play.
We can do that, I think.
All right. You leaving now, or you leave? I still got some stuff I gotta put off here. You see. I mean,
How long
the
is
big
that
guy,
gonna
maybe
take?
he can help me move things. Make it faster if you're in a hurry.
I can do
He sneezed himself straight out of video.
Having problems with that tonight, apparently.
It's the nose gremlins.
Yeah.
The damn kobolds. He's allergic to them.
Zima, will
Alright.
you help this nice man?
I can help you.
Okay, cool.
See? Many, many times.
Eden just kind of gives a look to Mordu. This is all me, buddy.
Avi's gonna be looking a little nervously at the barge. Like, does it look like somewhere she's gonna want to be for 4 days?
Well, it's used to transport textiles, so it can't be super swampy or anything because it would destroy the fabric. So it's at least dry. It doesn't look exceptionally comfortable. It's kind of flat and, wood and hard. It's
Bargy.
it's exposed. It's not
Yeah.
really going to be a comfortable trip, but at the same time, it looks sturdy enough. You can roll insight on the guy who's in charge of it if you'd like.
Sturdy is good.
So far as you can tell, he is extremely honest. He just looks like he got hit in the face with a shovel.
Happens to the best of us.
I'm a good judge of character.
All right. It takes Zima an hour or 2 to help unload the barge, by which time, hopefully, Eden is done giving Mordu side-eye. Because he spends the next hour just giving it more, just constant side-eye.
I don't see what the problem is.
Sorry,
Perhaps
cat
not
problems.
lying to your own party members,
Did we not get a barge at a fair and reasonable price?
Who got,
Did I
No,
not
we
say
got
we were going to get a
who
barge?
who got the discount?
Doesn't matter. Who found the barge?
Me.
Anyway.
While their shenanigans are happening, Avi's gonna go back into the city and buy a few more rations because she wasn't thinking a 4-day cruise, a 3-hour cruise, as it were. She's gonna make sure she's set. And Frost, because it doesn't look like there's a lot for Frost to eat on the boat.
No, I mean, he probably, he might
Fish.
try, but you could go fishing. That is definitely an option. If anybody here knows how to fish, probably Zima does.
Zima knows everything. He's magic.
I am jerk of all trades.
So yes, you spend some time. Sorry, we've got. If that thing falls forward on me, it's my cat's fault.
It's very safe.
Totally safe. Nothing could go wrong.
Seems
I-
very safe.
Totally safe. Nothing could go wrong at all. Nope. So that said, you spend while you're waiting for Zima to finish moving things, you gather your rations and prepare to go. And after a couple of hours, the barge unloaded. The gentleman who was in charge of that has finished his business and welcomes you all aboard. The barge is a rather large, flat space. and it has oh dear.
It apparently has sails that continue to just fall down all the time.
Sails for days.
No, that's just a cat jumping on the other side of it.
Sails for days. Listen. Listen. Okay? I'm trying to do things here. He doesn't like the screen because it's not usually there. It angers him. All right, so you get underway the next couple of days, heading north up the river. It is pretty uneventful. I'm assuming Zima spent some time fishing for food or not. What do the rest of you do with your downtime?
I would like to be working on simple commands with Frost.
All right. Like sit, stay.
Well, got sit and stay, more like no, don't eat that.
That's a fair thing to work on.
Eden uses his jeweler tools to end some wire that he has, then
From the
works
Jeep?
on. Hmm?
Wire from the Jeep?
Yeah, sure.
Infants, all of you.
I'm 35.
Yeah, but did you watch MacGyver?
No.
There.
No.
Infants.
All right, so
I'm not an infant, I just didn't like the show.
okay, so Eden uses some wire and jewelry tools and works on his jeweling.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. More do? Or do you just like sit up front at the prow and just
Checking out the textiles and whatnot. Wandering the barge as it allows.
all right? Yeah, you paw through the boxes, and eventually the guy whose name you never bothered getting, just he gives you the stink eye. Though every look from him looks like the stink eye. He doesn't. Are you gonna buy any of that, or are you just touching?
Perhaps I will buy. But I'm also touching, yes.
You're taking fabric into a mine.
It's lucky.
He ain't too bright, is he?
Sir, I believe he'll buy and then pick it up in the city when we return.
Ah, that makes more sense.
Mm.
So I got a 19 on my intimidation roll. Zima just kind of leans over the edge of the bar and goes, "Fish, get in the boat!"
A rather large river fish leaps out of the water and into the barge, flopping around on the bottom of it, which earns Zima a very confused look from the bargeman, and now he has a large fish.
At which point I say, no, Frost, don't eat it.
Those lessons are coming in handy.
And Zima makes lunch.
Murdo can't
Thank you,
complain
Zima.
because lunch. But the whole point was not to get fish on the boat. But
This is my life now.
These are your choices.
This is the party that you formed.
This is
Oh,
all
dear.
your fault.
I have regrets. No. So, you make your way up the river to the very northernmost tip of the river, where you disembark into the trees. The map says that the mine is around here somewhere. Who here knows how to navigate the woods?
Probably Zima.
More than likely Zima.
I can do that.
Make a survival check. You can certainly try insight. Well then. Zima looks around, nods once, I know this place, and takes off into the woods, leaving the rest of you to follow him, and he walks directly to the foot of the mountains. Fair enough. As you
I told you all from the beginning.
you arrive at what looks like an old track that Zima has followed into the woods. It has begun raining and is a little chilly. A large log has fallen down across the track, so obviously nobody has dragged a cart down it in some time, and it looks kind of overgrown. A small stream winds its way through the woods ahead of you.
That tends to happen when it rains. Maybe choose. No. Maybe choose the wrong profession as adventurer.
I
Will
think
you please give me your cloak? I said the magic word, please.
Duh, but Zima does not do magic, so no.
if perhaps we move instead of standing still, we won't get wet.
Yes.
I think moving will get us wet still.
But at least we'll be wet moving.
Down the roadaways, you do spot an entry into the cliff. Could maybe be a way into this mine you were here to find, anyway.
All right, let's go.
Zima will make for the bridge.
I went
How
around the
straight
giant log,
is
but
this
go ahead,
bridge?
just walk right through it. That's fine.
Eden studies the bridge to see how sturdy it is, since nobody has been in here in a while.
Alright, that would be probably perception. The bridge looks like it's much newer than everything else and seems more sturdy than you would have expected.
I think it's safe to cross, everyone. He stomps on the bridge a couple of times just to be sure.
It
Zima,
wiggles a
why
little.
don't you stomp on it? You are way heavier than I am.
What are you trying to say?
That you're a big half-orc, and I am a small elf.
Zima has been on a diet.
No diet will get you to my weight. Now please, bridge indicates to bridge.
I'm down to only four jugs of ale a week.
Looks like the bridge is safe.
Go stomp across the bridge. Oh, never mind. Impatient people.
Yeah, as you stand there arguing about Zima stomping on the bridge and how many kegs of ale a week he drinks, Aviara just walks across the bridge and nothing horrible happens to her.
Everyone follows her, I guess.
Across the bridge
I
you can
walked
see...
across with her, so.
Blind
Right.
leading the blind.
As you cross the bridge, you can see a low stone wall surrounds an opening into the stone beyond. It looks like it has been here a while. A lot of the stones have fallen off and are littering the edges, but the mine, or the entrance of what you think may be a mine, lies beyond.
Shall we go?
I see butterflies. That must mean it's safe, duh?
Sure. Butterflies are good. Maybe. Possibly poisonous. Who knows?
Poisonous
Butterflies
butterflies? Where are
Also,
we?
eat dead meat.
It's the last time I leave.
Stability's here.
You're just gonna go stomping into the mine?
Stomp to the
Nothing
entrance.
ventured, nothing gained. Zima
I'm
can go first.
looking at the tracks. This is an abandoned
Look, it's the
mine,
best
right?
effect I have, okay? No, of course not. I don't have that yet. I can't.
Are
They
there
don't exist.
wagon tracks in this abandoned mine?
There are what used to be. It looks like there's something that was dragged through here anyway.
But fairly recently?
Recent-ish. I mean, you'd have to do a survival check to see how long it's been.
I am very curious. I am not destined to know.
They're Not made today, or probably yesterday, but they have been made at some point in somewhat recent history. Zima thinks they may have been made maybe between 5 days and 7 days.
Can I tell what the tracks are from?
It looks like a two-wheeled cart was dragged to the mine and dragged away from the mine.
Do the tracks coming away from the mine look heavier?
They do, in fact.
But this isn't an active mine.
Somebody took something.
Well, if there's any
Well.
luck, perhaps there are some gems to be had.
Or
Yes.
a crazy necromancer who wants to kill us.
Why does your mind always go
Either
to
way
death?
is profit, huh?
There's somebody inside. So,
Be very
Or
quiet.
somebody has been inside.
or someone has been inside.
Well, if the tracks are older, which tracks are newer, Zima? The ones going away or coming in?
Going away.
Looks like the one's going away.
All right, so it doesn't seem like anyone's been here in the last couple of days. So perhaps it might not be as scary as you think, Aviara.
It's
Zima
always
will
very-
go first.
Okay.
That sounds like a good idea.
All right then.
Here we go.
Hi ho, hi ho. It's off to work we go. Do 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 do. Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho.
We do not have a single dwarf in our party.
So
Do we need one?
I do not think we're allowed to sing that song without a dwarf. It's appropriation.
that's a big word for you, Zima.
Well, you're looking so much better.
Zima has many big things.
I'm sure.
Well, big guy.
Inside the mine, you find some unlit lamps. It is quite dark. And for some
Aviara,
reason,
could we light
I
some of the
forgot
la-
to make it dark.
Can we what now?
Aviara, is
to
there
light
a way
something.
for you to use that fire thing that you've done to maybe light a couple of lamps that we can take along?
Oh, I do have flint and steel. Is that what you mean?
That works too.
There's a rock. Oh, those are pickaxes. Yeah, you can light a couple of lanterns.
I just wanted to see her pretty magic again.
Hopefully, we won't need it.
Also, some of you may or may not have torches also, though you could try and wrestle one of the lamps off the wall.
I have a candle,
I don't wrestle.
but that feels like that would invite kobolds.
They have dark vision.
I also have dark vision, so that works.
Oh, I do too. I knew that.
I think Bordeaux does also, because tieflings get it. So all of you
Yes.
can just see in the dark. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yep, cool.
We get the element of surprise then. Put out the
Yes,
put out
we
the
do.
lamps.
Frost is probably the only one who can't see in the dark.
Well, I mean, he's
Aw,
a dog.
poor
He has pretty
doggo.
good. Yeah, he's got some good night vision as a dog.
He's the best doggo.
Would the dog have
Remember when-
light vision?
They probably do, yeah.
I'm sorry?
He wanted to know if the dogs had low light vision, and I said probably.
Wait, I have his character sheet.
Anyway, the first room you enter, since you have dark vision, you light the lamps, but you can't see everything else in color. It's still quite dark. There are a number of crates. There is a table with some, what looks like old paperwork on it, a rack of picks, as well as another stack of crates next to which Aviara is standing.
What are those? Check out the paperwork on the table.
Well, you know
See
what they
what it's
say
all
about
about.
mines.
What do they say about mine,
They're
Zima?
dark and scary, and you shouldn't go into them alone?
Picks,
But they
or it didn't
collapse.
happen.
That hurts my soul. On the table
Right.
on the table is a bunch of paperwork. Mordu, do you have anything in Arcana?
No, absolutely not.
All right. Well, you don't understand what you're looking at, but you look at it and recognize that it looks magic. You think? Sort of.
Aviara, there's a magical sheet of paper over here.
I'll come take a
Perhaps
look.
you can read it.
Probably not. I'll give it a try.
He hands her the paper. Please.
I also have comprehend languages.
That would
might
help you
work better.
understand. You could definitely read the language, but you might not understand everything it's talking about. It looks more like advanced mathematics. That's kind of how I view magical formulas and theorems and the way they're put together.
Yeah, I missed that lecture.
Aviara
Especially
knows. Looking at it, Aviara knows it's definitely magical. She thinks it looks very complicated. Whatever it is, this is not simple set it and forget it magic. It's not dancing lights. Somebody is working on some sort of ritual here, though she doesn't know what exactly.
Eden picks up the paper. If she'll give it to him, we should maybe take this back to the college.
Agreed.
Headmaster Thames? The headmaster would love to see that.
I bet he would.
Rallis also knows a bit about this kind of thing, though he's indisposed.
So we'll bring it back to them.
Eden rolls it up carefully and slides it into his pack, which is waterproof because it has all of his beautiful clothing in it.
While they're playing with the paperwork, Zima took one of the pickaxes and just kind of slung it over his shoulder and wandered over to see what was in this minecart that fell over.
As a note, since we had so many technical issues, if everybody's okay with it, I'd like to play until 8:30. If that's all right with everyone?
Yeah, have at it.
Okay, wonderful.
Should be 9:30.
Oh yeah, it should be 9:30, shouldn't it? I'm a dingbat.
Yep.
I'm dumb. Anyway, the minecart looks like it's full of some sort of crystals. They're green and kind of glowy.
Hey, magic people, come look at these stones.
Frost is like,
Sniff, sniff, sniff.
Can't be
Mordell was
on.
out of magic people, so he checks out some other
Eden
stuff.
comes over anyway because he's nosy.
are these not normal stones?
They don't look like normal rocks. They are green and a little bit glowy, and as Aviara looks at them, there's a little bit of resonance of some kind of magical aura about them.
Eden seems to recognize them. Are they the kind of stone that were powering the golem that they fought?
Very similar, yes.
Look at you
This
and your
looks-
memory.
This looks like the stone that I took and gave to the headmaster in exchange for my other shiny. Perhaps if we bring these back to him, we will get some answers and also some more shinies.
Always on board for more shinies.
I accept the shiny thing, but there's a larger something at bay, because if he can use it to create things, then so can somebody not him.
Absolutely.
Well,
So if we take them,
you make a good point.
but if we take them, they do not have them. Yes?
That is fair,
Yes.
but I'm not
Let's.
sure we can take them all.
Can we take them all if
An
they're divided
entire
between all of our
cart.
packs?
It might be a little heavy, but you could
I mean,
certainly...
Mine with a pack full of rocks.
I mean,
Zima,
I think Zima should be getting bigger share.
I don't need much. You can have mine.
So now that they're all deliberating on the rocks, Zima's going to come over here and crack open these crates with his new tool.
Okay. You break open one of the crates, and inside that one you find what used to be in good condition pickaxe heads, but no longer. They have deteriorated over time. It looks like these were replacements for other tools down here in the mine.
Perhaps we can take the rocks when we come back. Through, maybe? It might be too late by then.
I think we will need to have a cart to get all these stones out of here.
Perhaps we can
Perhaps
hide
that
them
was
in the
what-
nearby woods.
Was taken out of here to cause the tracks that we found on the way in.
That is
I
Sounds
think
reasonable.
so. It's all I can tell because these rocks and other mining supplies to take these rocks are all that are in here so far.
There's a path over here.
Look at you being a pathfinder.
That's a different game.
Right.
So funny.
Sorry, Tanya.
She's
Aviara,
just sort of wandering.
yeah, she wanders into
Yeah.
another room. It looks like there are more stacked crates here. This area either didn't have any of the crystals in it or they were depleted. However, it looks like it was being used for storage. The crates there are quite old. Some are no longer... Yeah, like if you were to touch them, they'd probably fall apart. The only thing holding them together is the metal banding on the outside.
Got it.
Interesting. Well,
These mines were supposed to have been abandoned a very, very, very long time ago.
And it kind of feels like they're not.
I don't think they
Agreed.
are.
Frost, you unbelievable.
Bad dog. Bad
Maybe
dog.
Maybe we should follow one of the mine tracks.
I feel like
Which
that's
one
a good
should
idea.
we go down? Let's do the one that doesn't split.
The
yes.
Alright, you're heading north down the mine tracks. It's very dark up here, but it's dark everywhere. It's a mine. You can see
This
what
one
look like
splits
old.
too.
It does. You can see it
Great.
looks like an old turntable towards the middle, where a car would have been taken down one track or the other.
Should we go right or shall we continue north? I feel like going deeper is probably the better option.
is always a better option.
You can show me later.
Just pick a direction.
Eden goes north.
Eden goes
And
north
it's
and
a
he
dead end?
discovers a dead end, but also what looks like a campsite. That is far more recent than anything except perhaps the papers. There is a fire ring with some smoldering ashes, a book lying on the ground, as well as a bunch of scrolls and what looks like a box of food, along with some firewood.
I'm gonna look at the
Eden-
book. What's in the book?
Eden stares looking around the campsite, seeing if there is anything else that could not be as obvious that he might have missed.
Perception
Don't
for
let
Eden.
the scrolls.
Aviara, can you roll Arcana?
I can.
Wrong screen. Okay, Eden doesn't find anything of serious interest, though he can tell that somebody's been in this campsite pretty recently. The fire has died down to coals, but not so far that it couldn't be built up again and be brought back to warmth. And it looks as though it's been pretty well used. Somebody's been staying here for quite some time. Aviara, she looks through it and does recognize that this is, much like those other papers, somebody's trying to work through some really complicated magical trouble. She thinks she does recognize that there are references to things that belong in the school of necromancy, though she's not an expert in that school.
What about the
And
scrolls?
can we
What's
put
on
this with the other
scrolls?
paper?
Your mouth moved, but you didn't say anything. Lie.
Oh, you asked if you could put it with the other paper. Yes, we can
Yes,
put it in
please.
with. You can put it in with my.
Because I don't understand it, but somebody might, and it looks important.
And if we have it, they do not have it.
This is very true.
This is my philosophy currently.
Do we feel
Zima
happy
stays,
about
Zima stays over here and plays around with the switch track, curious if the mechanism still works.
Make a strength check. Zima kind of leans on the lever pretty hard, and it's really rusty, it's really stuck, but eventually he kind of leans on it hard enough that it goes ka-chunk under his weight, and thud. Switches tracks. Yes, you all get subjected to my soundtrack, my sound effects.
But at the very least, it seems like they haven't. Whoever's been in here hasn't been messing with the switch tracks.
No, that has not been used in a long time, or magically bound up somehow, but it doesn't seem as though mechanically it's in good use.
Edmund checks in the tent.
What are you looking at the tent?
I'm looking into the tent to see if there is anything of interest inside the tent.
There's a bedroll. It's well made. It looks like it's been used, again, recently, like everything else. There's no dust or anything on it.
Is there anything special about it? Did a perception check.
You dig around in the bedroll and you don't find anything particularly interesting. You do come up with a handful of coins, gold coins that you can tuck away.
Pocket? Yep, that's going in my
All
my
you.
purse. Yep.
As well as a couple of like hand-sized of the green rocks, but nothing exceptionally.
Are the rocks different from the other rocks at all?
Not in any way you can perceive, other than size. They're smaller.
This box of scrolls, can we look at that?
Yeah, you can look at it. It looks like a lot of them are blank, as though these were designed to be future spell scrolls. So possibly this individual was looking to scribe a whole lot of magic, but you don't find it looks, and there's a lot of them here. Somebody spent a lot of money on this. This is not a cheap venture because spell scrolls are not inexpensive.
No, they certainly are not.
Aviara, would these be useful to you at all?
Uh-oh. Everything's frozen. Okay, I'm back. Discord froze on me for a second.
I was like, what is happening?
Yep. Discord, we lost Nikolai, but my Discord decided it was like, oh, by the way.
Mine too.
Discord's having some issues tonight.
Yeah.
I think their server's having a problem.
Seems like, yeah. Apologies, folks.
Welcome back, Lai.
Sorry.
There we go. Yep, alright. So, yes, the scrolls have been there for a while. We were seeing if they were useful to Aviara.
And Avi was saying no, but surely one of the people at the college could use them because if we have them, then someone else doesn't. She looks
You're
at
catching on.
All right, let's take some of the scrolls. If nothing else, they will be good money.
From what I understand about them, they are expensive, so perhaps we could also get a nice coin for them.
Agreed.
My pack is getting full, however, or you can carry them.
That was the plan in the first place. Thank you.
He just starts stuffing them into his backpack like, yes, these belong to me now. Grabby paws are here again.
And that is now Murdu's theme song.
Perfect.
Grabby Rogue does whatever a Grabby Rogue does.
Perfect.
Which is grab things. Okay,
Alright,
down the track.
Shall we go down the other
Alright.
fork?
Yes. Avi was just sort of kind of like loitering and looking at Zima and loitering and looking at Zima.
Gonna let the rogue and the bard lead the party.
This is a bad idea.
Very smart.
y'all.
They're getting
Well, you're
Smart.
certainly not letting. I don't want the cleric to do it.
Zima was distracted by the track mechanism, and he's just kind of standing there staring at it as everyone walks by and looks up like, oh, huh.
Here's
We
another
have
one.
another split. Which direction do we go?
But if it's the same as the other one, Zima, does this one
There
look
might be
like it
something-
is switched?
This only switched for the long end off to the right, but both look like the track ends very close.
I guess we should check maybe it's a dead end on the. What is this?
Eden
This left
goes through and says north as usual and wanders in.
He wanders into an empty chamber with a single crystal sticking out of the wall. It looks like this place has been, or a couple of crystals around. It looks as though they have, for the most part, been carved out of this cave. But there are some natural of those green crystals growing out of the wall here. And Aviara sees some further on down the track as well.
So this is
Along with
obviously
a
where they're
long
coming
abandoned, damaged minecart down at the end.
Well, there's nothing here. I mean, except for rocks. So I suppose it's good we didn't find a scary necromancer. Like, well, yeah.
from. Yet. There's
So far,
plenty of
yeah.
mine to go, my friend.
Expected to
There
find
are-
rocks in the mine, and now there are rocks in the mine.
Yeah, there are a whole bunch of crystals here. It looks as though they hadn't. This place wasn't abandoned because it was left dry. There's obviously still more to be mined here. Aviara senses that similar magical resonance from these.
The fact that there's still crystals in the wall, and there was a whole minecart worth of them back there, makes me think that they all left in a hurry.
And what would make them leave?
Scary necromancer?
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Perhaps we should leave as well then? Maybe?
I mean, we are here to find the scary necromancer.
If
Oh
you
wait, we are
insist.
rocks.
We didn't come all of this way to hit a dead end.
Well, that's too bad. We hit several.
I'm
Thank you,
sure there's
Zima.
more mine
But
to
there's
explore.
more tracks.
Let's follow back other way on tracks.
Peter,
Yeah, this is the how to get frost around corners.
I can move you if you get stuck.
Yes,
DM powers.
Corners in this game are a little annoying.
Especially when you've got a dog.
Yeah, moving multiple times.
Who
is
I
kind of a pain.
love. Let's not I'll have you separate us. Nope. Frost, come
Hold
on.
on, I can.
another split.
If you hold on, I can attach you.
Eden peeks through in here.
Peeks through where?
Eden walks through into a larger area, and it looks like this is the main part of the mine. There are crystals everywhere, along with some mining equipment and some ladders leading down. And on the floor, on the lower level, is a large, deep crack.
Well, that doesn't look good.
friendly.
Does not.
Eden takes one of the crystals and drops it down the ladder. Sees what he hears.
The crystal clatters a couple of times and actually sparks as it hits the ground and cracks a little piece of magical energy shooting out of it. And nothing happens, though you can hear the sound reverberating much further than you would have expected down the crack below. The edge of the cliff with the ladder, it's only about 10 feet down. It's not an extremely long drop there.
Should we maybe not have done that?
Well, it's better than one of us going down there currently without seeing if anything happened, don't you think?
I mean, there's plenty of other track. We could not be here.
We could.
I suppose.
But we are here.
Okay, bear with me on this. Zima goes over to the minecart that's on the tracks there
Mm-hmm.
and tries to shimmy it off the tracks.
Strength check. He's able to kind of move the front end off the tracks a little bit.
He's going to try and push the cart off the tracks over by the ladder.
Okay.
Well, for me, I'm out of the way.
Yeah, it takes all of his strength, and Zima's not a weak man, to get himself kind of under and behind the cart and push it down the tracks. The wheels just screech horribly against the metal until they get onto the stone, and there's the sound of metal dragging on stone as he gets over to the edge. As he reaches, yeah, it's a horrible noise. As he reaches the very edge of the little canyon there and drops the minecart over, it slams into the ground, and the crack spreads a little bit, and the sound reverberates deep down into the earth. Somewhere very, very far below, you hear the sound of drums.
That is what I thought. The ground is not very stable at the bottom of the ladder.
Fool of Zima.
Guys,
I'm more
there's
concerned about the drums.
Yeah, there are drums playing.
Yeah, but the drums are way down there.
Drums
how
are still
long?
not, still not good.
I like drums.
I think we should go check the other side. Quickly.
Just, oh, okay.
Quick, someone say Jumanji.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that.
I don't want. Let's just
Hold
roll
on,
5s
guys.
and 8s the entire time. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
great.
Let me just rework my entire plot here, and who's going down
I
the ladder?
claim. I claim the rock.
Yeah, is anybody going down?
Does that mean Zima's Jack Black?
One can only hope.
Sorry, I'm an old school guy. I like the Robin Williams one better.
So, Zima's Robin Williams.
Or he's the
Show
hunter.
mashup. Yeah.
I like it.
Alright, so who's going down the ladder?
Is anyone going down the ladder? Who's the lightest of us? Are we going to leave? Or are we going to...
Yeah, why the hell would we go down the ladder? I just tested it and found out the ground's unstable.
Well, I mean, somebody said something about going to the other side. That's the only way to go over there.
Yeah, the other side of the mine. Away from the crack.
Kraken.
We have unleashed
Do
the Kraken.
not release the Kraken.
Maybe we go outside the mine, close off the mine, be done with the mine.
Exactly.
It's an approach, but this is a really valuable mine. These crystals don't grow on, well, not on trees, but they're important.
Does anybody have, we can do perception, because I think that's how you appraise things in this.
Yeah, I'm pretty good
Yeah.
with perception. I'll roll perception.
I will also just
Not great
reply.
today. Everyone's perception's in the trash today.
Oh boy.
Wow, guys. Wow.
I feel like Avi lost a contact somewhere, and she's just
Eden's distracted by all the shiny objects.
The problem is Frost is actually trying to eat a crystal, so she's like, oh no, come back! The training, wait, no!
Do not eat! Do not eat!
You ignored a whole box of food back in the campsite. Get the crystal out of your mouth.
His reflection and all.
We do not eat glowing things.
Eden is currently flexing in some of the crystals, like,
And Murdo is watching him do that.
Mordo was watching him do that.
As he's like, oh, yeah, nice.
Work it, honey.
Yes.
And Zima just considers tossing himself down the crater.
I, at this point, I can't play you.
On the other hand, Zima, who is more perceptive than the world has given him credit for in the past, he looks around at the crystals and realizes that this place is, in fact, incredibly valuable. Burying it would be burying hundreds of thousands of platinum worth of these crystals, because if these are magical, and magic has been forbidden for a long time, there's money to be made.
Which might be
Or-
why someone is taking them out of the mine.
He also notices that the sounds underground are getting slowly louder, and he can see the faintest edge of light. So from somewhere very down deep in that crack, something is coming.
Hey guys.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Did you find it?
Either we want to go away now, or we are going to be in a concert.
I don't go away.
And Squint's trying to hear the drums.
I mean, is it a sick beat or is it?
Right.
I'm always down for a concert. Will I be performing?
It's dubstep, run!
Well, they're
EDM?
coming from
No!
underground. It is a rock concert, okay?
Oh.
I just took psychic damage.
We should all get automatic 4 levels for that.
Oh, but your pickaxe joke is fine.
I think we should all just get experience for having to deal with you.
Oh, thanks. Every time Eden fixes one of my websites, he gets experience.
I would be level 20 by now.
Okay,
At least Zima smells great. He found a crate full of pickaxe body spray.
you're fired.
No, that doesn't smell great. That could be used as a
No.
weapon.
Then you would need to change your name to Chad.
Chad.
That is Zima's first name. Chad Zima.
Okay, but I don't want to hear about CrossFit. Can we maybe just get away from...
Yeah, get away from the crack, Chad.
Yeah, Chet. And here's the drums that Zima was talking about. And it's like, I'm good. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, now you want to check out the other side of the mine.
It will not
Uh-oh.
do healing spells. It's just the magic college trying to put its chip under my skin.
And goes into here, which is another dead end.
Yep, he runs
Yikes.
south into a dead end, trying to flee the sound of drums and finding himself no further away than he started, really.
Zima's going to
Goes the other way.
use crystals as he can.
Is he like trying to pry them out of the clusters or something?
He has a pickaxe.
Okay then. He picks up a point that's as long as his arm after hacking it off of one of the things, and he just carries it.
Zima, wouldn't it be better use of time to just grab out of the cart that already has the things?
Duh. I did not say I was trying to mine them. Some strange godlike person seemed to think I was.
You should have been more specific, a voice says from the ceiling.
From the world of tomorrow.
Yes.
So Eden, on the way out, grabs as many of the crystals as he can shove into his pack and skedaddles out as quickly as possible.
As does Mordo. Same exact thing. Just grabs all
Hobby.
these little crystals off.
Just ditto.
Did we not go up here?
Even the dog grabs one and runs out.
Did we?
Grabs one of the big ones.
Perplexed, Tanya.
Do what?
You look perplexed.
Well, because I didn't know if we'd gone up here yet.
You have not.
We're escaping
Drums.
drums.
Oh, we're escaping. Right. Sorry.
Aviara
Right,
belatedly
escaping.
notices that Frost
Right,
has a
right, we're
giant crystal in his
escaping.
mouth
Uh-huh.
again. Bravely run away, away.
And we were forced to eat the minstrel.
Poor.
Hey!
You make it
Ah,
outside. It is still raining.
rain.
It's still cold. However, somewhere behind you, resonating through the inside of the mountain, you hear some kind of deep bellowing roar
Oh,
and the
yikes.
sound of cracking rock as something
Boy.
tries to break through into the mine.
Well,
I mean,
Doc,
Do you want me to close the door?
is there a door to be closed?
He holds up his pickaxe.
I
Close
can
the
make
door.
door close.
Close the door. Close the door quickly.
Oh, we don't want to close off the whole. Well, I mean,
I think we do. From the sound of what that was. Do you
do
want
we
to get?
go?
Do you
He
want to
just
get?
lost whatever we had there. It is under new ownership.
We have all that we can get from here. Someone can eventually dynamite the mine back open. Let's just go.
I like being alive.
I'm gonna give the entrance one wax.
Staying
Strength,
alive.
please.
Staying alive. And runs all the way down to the bridge. Bye. Abandoned ship.
Alright, Zima starts wailing away at the wall, just beating it as the sound of roaring and rumbling continues, and that rumble actually helps him as he drops a bunch of rocks down from the ceiling onto the mouth of the mine. It doesn't drop the entire ceiling of the mine, but it certainly does put a damper on anything human-sized following them.
Close the door.
Run away!
I think that'll be enough.
We'll find out, won't we?
I think it's more than I want to know. Bye.
Indeed,
Enjoy your new home.
As you go scrambling toward the bridge, something slams into the rocks right behind where Zima was, shaking the front of the mine and knocking a few of them loose.
Guys, I think we're going to have to face whatever that is.
Do we have to though?
And he
Right.
pulls out his whip. I can cheer you on from across the bridge if you'd like.
Do me a favor. Stand on the bridge for a moment.
He narrows his eyes at Zima. Why?
So I can push you in the water. I don't have to run fast. I just have to run faster than you.
Or goes across the
No.
bridge.
So
There's
they're not
another-
handling
There's another
this.
slam.
Oh, okay, sure. Here I
You
come.
can go over the wall. You should be able to.
But I don't even try anymore with frost. I
Gotcha. I didn't actually put walls on the wall because I figured somebody might just vault over it. Because Mordu's extra, and I figured he might just like whoop.
Puts it over the log in the beginning. It's fine.
do.
As you all run down for the south of the woods, you make it into the trees as whatever's behind you breaks through with a deep bellow. However, it doesn't seem to be willing to follow you out into the lights.
Great.
Retreats back into the darkness a little ways, leaving you breathless and panting and running through the trees for dear life toward the barge that you hope is still moored at the head of the river not too far away.
I mean, I feel
You
like
know.
we didn't really accomplish much.
I would like to
You
do a
got
survival
lots of
check.
loot.
Can I do a survival check? I recognize the door.
Yeah, sure. Zima has no idea what that was. It was big. It was angry.
Nah.
He didn't want to fight it. This time, anyway. Not with a pickaxe.
I have
And
my
he looks
sword.
across the river to see if he can see what it is.
All he can see is something large and scaled, kind of. There's a claw that comes out and hits the ground and then rakes a very long set of tracks in the dirt and the packed down stones there before retreating into the darkness. It is very dark and it is very big. He suspects it could maybe be a dragon of some kind, but he's not sure, and he's not sure he wants to go back to find out.
Oh, I know what that is. That's the Nope Beast.
From from Nopton.
I did not know they played drums.
Well,
Glorious.
that was a waste of 4 days.
Was it
You
though?
did-
Our packs are full of crystals. And we know that somebody's been taking stuff out of the mine. And we know that there's something even scarier than a necromancer in the mine. These are all things we didn't know before.
We have lots of information, lots of things that can be turned
also
into
have
money.
that-
I'd like to follow the tracks of the cart.
All right. The tracks of the cart actually lead down toward the river, but they break off partway.
Where do they go?
They head toward the little town at the head of the river, for which I do not have a map. You can go there, but I just don't have a super snazzy map for it.
We could go ask about the people that were in there. Then, for the love of God, just take a bath from time to time. You'll get used to it.
All right, you're heading up to the little town. Well, in fact, yes, it is full of little people. They are dwarves, but you know,
See, now they can sing this song.
does seem like one of those places where every day is like the one before in a lot of ways, but it's a little town. It looks like it used to be a mining village, but has now transitioned to logging since, well, obviously the mine is not a place they go. However, not not necessarily the average townsfolk. You see evidence of a great deal of like timber building, and around the town, the areas, you can see evidence of logging, responsible logging. Like they don't clear cut everything, but there's obvious, yeah. Well, they would very much like to keep being able to, grow things in the future. Uh, but it is mostly dwarven. There's a town tavern, of course, as well as a few other buildings. There aren't very many houses. It's more like a hamlet. There's like maybe 5 to 10 houses, all kind of clustered together. There also, in addition to that, is some kind of communal gathering space and a very, very small outdoor market at which there is nobody because it is raining. uh, uh,
Zima stays outside. He kind of likes the rain, the cold. He's kind of gonna poke around a little bit, looking for signs of this cart.
Everybody got muted. Hold on.
In the stream.
Alright, hold on, guys. There we go. Should be fixed. Sorry about that. Yes, they arrived at a town. The group collectively went into the tavern except Zima, who is hanging out outside looking for signs of that cart that got dragged in here. It's a very small logging town. I'm not sure how much you missed, but it doesn't seem as though there are a great number of people here. Maybe a cluster of 5 to 10 buildings. There's a tavern and a hall that looks like it's a gathering place for the locals. Zima, you were looking for the cart. Roll perception, I guess. Zima doesn't see the cart or any obvious signs of it, but it is raining and it has been a little while since it was dragged into town. Also, there are other vehicles coming and going from town pretty regularly here, so it's not as easy to track in this space. Inside the tavern, you find a collection of folks, many of whom look similarly damp to you, having clustered inside to get out of the rain. Some of them look like loggers. There are a few folks who look like they might do other things. There's one woman who is obviously a smith. She's carrying a hammer and wearing the protective gear you'd expect of somebody in the smithing profession. The dwarves, both men and women, have glorious beards. The women, their beards tend to be more ornamented, so they have more gems and baubles in them. The men's are more straightforward. They style a little differently. If you're not familiar with dwarves, you might not notice the difference between them, but anybody who's spent enough time in Scaevolanum definitely knows.
Is the tavern keeper there?
Indeed, there's somebody kind of going back and forth, bringing out cups of hot soup and so on to the folks coming in out of the rain. In fact, the minute you guys walk in, somebody just hands you a cup of soup and walks away without really saying anything about it.
Is it very crowded? Like, is this a room full of people?
It's not packed full, but it is. There are a large number of people who seem to have scampered inside to get out of the rain as quickly as possible, so it's a room that could hold maybe 40 people comfortably. There are about 15 in it, so there's room to move, but it's a little tight.
Okay.
Well, Eden takes the soup, finds the nearest table, and sits.
The tables closest to the fire are taken, but Eden does find a spot to sit down and enjoy his soup.
Warm soup. Warm.
Murdo carries his soup in one hand and compliments the nearest lady dwarf on the ornaments in her beard, and goes to sip on his soup.
She smiles and blushes at Mordu's compliments and kind of titters a little bit.
Avi and her soup are still standing by the door.
All right. What is Zima up to? He's still sniffing around outside?
Zima's still sniffing around outside.
Eden finishes his soup rather quickly, because it is only just a cup of soup. He gets up, he goes to the tavern keep, and says, "Excuse me, good sir."
The tavern keep lifts his head and nods to Eden a little bit. The soup, by the way, was like a squash, an herb squash soup. So it's one of the really warming, kind of stick to your ribs sort of soups.
Good stuff.
But yes.
The soup was delicious, thank you.
He nods once. Yeah, welcome. Haven't seen you before. New?
No, we were here following a request from a city for some information, but it is cold and wet, and my party has traveled for 4 days. I, however, have a little bit of energy and wonder if perhaps I could play for you. He holds up his lute.
The barkeeper's just grins and says, "Absolutely. Might do some people some good after coming in out of the rain."
And so Eden looks around to find if there's a good place to entertain in the tavern.
He could find a spot. He could probably grab a chair and stand up on it if he wanted to.
So he gets up and he begins to play a jaunty tune, hoping to warm everyone in the tavern.
All right, roll performance, please.
Please be jaunty. Please be jaunty.
Definitely jaunty, jaunty.
Better day, huh?
Yes. Give us jaunty.
It goes pretty well. Folks seem to really respond to it and enjoy it, and it creates a more lively atmosphere from what had felt like a room full of wet cats a moment ago.
Does
Zima,
he
you're
perhaps get any tips?
He will in a minute. Zima, you're outside still looking around. What exactly are you doing? Just wandering, or?
Zima's looking for signs of wagons and carts, trails of wagons or carts, maybe large carriage houses, things like that.
It's a pretty small town. There's not a lot of large vehicles there. The cart you were looking for was a hand cart, so anything four-wheeled and pulled by an animal you immediately can discard. There are a few hand carts around the marketplace that were left when everybody went scurrying inside, though.
Do any of them maybe have residual pieces of crystal inside?
Perception? Helps if I'm
Zima's not very much liking his D20 today.
Hey. Sorry, trying to, that was a dex check is what that was. Zima doesn't see any crystals in any of them, but one off to the side that doesn't seem to be at a specific booth does have some stone dust in it.
I will have a closer look at that one.
Investigation. Zima doesn't find anything that really gives him further information about it. It is a hand cart, it does have some stone dust in it. It isn't at one of the market vendors, but nothing else stands out.
What is around where the cart is?
It's sort of off to the side, as though somebody was trying to make it look as though it belonged to the market, but doesn't. It's near a couple of houses, which look as though there's nobody in them at the moment.
Do they look like empty, abandoned, or just nobody's home?
No, just nobody's home. He doesn't see any abandoned buildings in the immediate vicinity of the marketplace. They all look like they're lived in.
At this point, I think Zima will go back to the tavern and meet up with the others.
Alright, much as when the others entered, Zima is handed a cup of hot soup the minute he's through the door, just kind of perfunctory, somebody's giving him out.
Oh, thank you very much.
The
Well,
server
that was
smiles
gonna be
and-
me, but she beat me to it.
Oh, well, sorry. Gosh.
Well, Mordell feels like dancing. Oh, but if you have something red.
Edmund receives a handful of coins that it probably seems rude to count out right in front of everybody, but he can pocket and look at later. But he does get some tips from people who seem to very much enjoy his music, and he gets some cheers and, people lifting their mugs and...
Free bird!
And just starts playing some Queen.
Heck yeah.
We will rock you.
The whole tavern just starts clapping along with him, like they have no idea what's happening, but they know somehow that they're supposed to clap at certain spots. Zima, you're kind of gathering with everybody?
Zima goes and gathers with everyone and tells them what he found with the cart.
Adam's
Still
too busy
over by-
performing. He can't hear him.
And I was
Yeah.
still over by the door, but she's
Or,
looking for not dwarves that aren't
oh,
them.
well, there's that. Was gonna ask Aviar's dance, but she's busy. So he dances with the lady he complimented earlier.
Okay, Mordu's dancing. Oh, who is Zima talking to, since everybody seems to be,
Probably Aviara, I would assume.
yeah. Alright, so he's telling Aviara about the cart.
He's
And
over on the
buildings.
bench.
Mordu's dance partner is very enthusiastic. Not great, but enthusiastic.
Enthusiasm is appreciated.
You're taller than I am. Do you see any not people who don't look like they belong that isn't us?
I did not notice, but I was mostly looking at the carts. I could go back and look.
Well, no, I mean in here.
Have a look around.
I was
Perception?
looking, but people were dancing.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you ask to take a look. If my mouse would do what I told it to. Zima doesn't see anybody horribly out of place. All of the folks here are dressed in similar clothing. Most are dwarves. There are a couple of humans in the mix, but nobody who really stands out other than your group.
Did not see any shadowy figures lingering in the corner.
Oh wait, that's us. I think we should sit at the table.
Who's asking you?
I thought we were sitting at the table.
I was hovering by the door so that I could give you soup when you walked in.
Yeah, there are a number of large tables. The chairs are a little bit lower than is exactly comfortable for you, and poor Zima's knees are like up in his chin somewhere. But yeah, you're able to find a comfortable-ish place to sit.
Zima stacks one stool on top of another and sits on that.
Fair enough.
Eden finishes his song and puts his lute away, bowing graciously to all of his people that he performed to.
Round of
Hopefully
applause.
generating a good amount of goodwill.
Yeah, everybody, when he jumps down off of the stool he climbed up on to perform, he gets a number of probably staggering back slaps from folks who are much burlier than he is, but they are very happy and enthusiastic, like thud, like, but you know.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. But yeah, they really did seem to enjoy his performance, and he definitely has engendered a fair amount of goodwill.
Mordo gives his dance partner a kiss on the back of her hand and tells her she did a lovely job, and then goes to join the rest of the party.
She blushes and sort of like stares after him for a moment. Before you join the others at the table, with Zima sitting on 2 chairs rather than 1 because, you know, he's extra.
I will motion to the chairs and convey what Zima had told me, or have him the thing with the cart outside.
No, I found hand carts with rock dust inside, and it looks like it does not belong.
Eden is over trying to talk to the tavern keeper if he is busy passing out soup.
Okay. Yep.
I can talk. I can word. I word professionally.
You word good.
I English how I want a language, damn it. Yeah, the tavern keeper's happy to talk to Eden. The others, yeah, there doesn't seem to be anybody paying much attention to your group other than the occasional glance, but, you know, traveling merchants or travelers is not unheard of. They're just interesting, particularly since you're all dressed as though you're from somewhere far shinier than here. What is Eden saying to the barkeeper? He's just walking up to...
Do we have any open rooms?
The barkeep shakes his head and says, I don't have inn rooms available. I can make some space on the floor in front of the fire for you if you'd like to sleep here. You're welcome to, but...
We've been traveling for 4 days on the river. We would just like a nice warm place to sleep away from the rain, and perhaps a warm bath. A warm bath would be great.
The barkeep laughs and says, that I can probably do. I've got some old kegs of ale that needed to be dealt with. They've gone, but I can cut one in half and you can use that, I suppose.
That would be wonderful, thank you. Have you noticed anyone selling anything out of the norm around here?
Selling?
I noticed you had a market. Has any traveler come selling anything?
He nods. Well, there's people coming all the time. I mean, with magic no longer illegal, things are starting to pop up a little bit. Got some folks come through selling enchantments and so on. Been helpful. Had a cleric come by recently, took care of some of the problems we've been having. He kind of clears his throat and looks awkward for a second.
Problems. Do they happen to have anything to do with that mine up there?
No, that place has been closed for a long time. I was talking more, there was this... He scratches the back of his head, and there was this sickness going around the town for a bit that was causing some trouble. Not the kind of thing you talk about in polite company.
He pauses for a minute. We have a healer amongst us. Perhaps she would be more interested in hearing about that. And he looks over. Aviara! He motions for her to come.
Avi will stand up, put her hand on Frost, and make her way over.
I do believe he's referring to relationship spread diseases.
What?
And just kind of blinks.
The bartender turns scarlet and sort of slinks away. I'm gonna go see to that keg. I'll be out of
What
the
am I
room.
missing?
And then just kind of blinks a few times.
What?
Odo is very familiar with these kind of
Adding his
kind of disease.
partners a little bit, so not so much.
You have,
He'll
however,
flirt with anything, but doing the do on the other hand. He makes sure that there's nothing.
Odo got it immediately as soon as he said it.
All right then. So yes, you have. The bartender is still willing to let you sleep on his floor, despite the awkwardness of the situation, and is glad to have you there. It is, however, still mid-evening, so there's going to be people around for a while. That said, he did mention some folks selling enchanting items. Maybe could be a lead.
So he says that there's nobody of real interest, but there have been a few people selling enchantments now that magic is no longer a persona non grata.
Enchantments like written on scrolls? Question mark?
He didn't have a chance to say. He looks over to Zima.
Because you were talking about Venereal.
Hey, you were the one who was acting like you had no idea what the man was talking about.
I didn't, but I had more information to get out of him anyway.
Then go get it!
I don't think he wants to talk to me at the
He's
moment.
a bartender, he's right there.
He wandered away.
He's right there. I can reach my arm and touch him. Well, maybe go get him.
Your arm's fairly large, Zima.
Do you want me to go get him?
No, I don't think he wants you to go get him. Thank you very much.
I don't care what he wants.
I was
But
going
caring
to
what
ask
he...
for... Well, I did get us a place to sleep for the night that's warm and bath.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything you've done.
I was this close to getting Frost some meat.
Poor Frost.
See, men get embarrassed and walk away for a few minutes does not mean he's gone forever. Wait till we come out and talk to him. I don't understand the problem here.
And just shakes his head.
The bartender
And
has
sits
not come
down.
back out.
I think Zima should go get him if you have more.
Fine. Zima goes and walks into the back room of the bar.
The bartender is, he was doing as he said he was doing, was working on getting that barrel cut in half to make a tub so you guys could take a bath.
Zima picks him up and carries him back out, plunks him in front of the table.
I don't think that's polite to do, Zima.
So sorry.
I'm so sorry. We just met him.
The dwarf just, like, he's over there, like, sawing away, and then suddenly Zima picks him up and just walks away with him, and he just flails, like, and when Zima sets him down, he looks around like, what happened and why?
Sorry.
Odo points at Eden. He has more questions for you.
I did not request this.
That's a good question.
I can be, but I don't know about him. He points to Zima.
Can Zima be helped?
Again, we are so sorry. We just met him. It's okay.
Yeah. Da. Everyone likes Zima, and then give me crap in the tavern. Just ask your stupid questions.
You had mentioned, well, before I ask another question, do you have any meat that we can purchase for, he indicates to the poor hungry Frost. He was trying to eat crystals earlier.
Oh, yeah, yes, I've got plenty in the back.
Okay.
Yes.
He's fine. He'll be fine. Just,
And just put
we don't want to be any trouble. He's like
and
feeding him a
put
ration.
more than enough gold on the counter for him.
You said that there were people selling enchantments. Are they in the tavern right now?
He looks around, not really wanting to not answer Zima for fear of taking another half-orc ride, which came out differently. Never
Wow.
mind. Anyway, so, he... oh my goodness.
He must be this tall to ride Zima.
Right. And he is not that tall. So he looks around and no, I don't see him. Must not have come inside when it was raining.
What time does the market open?
Well, I mean, usually it's open most of the day. Well, but as I said, it's raining, so everybody went in.
Do these enchantments have to do with scrolls?
Yes, actually, a number of them did. There was one
Do you
particular
happen
one that solved a rather significant issue we were having with somebody's will. It was, I think, Speak with Dead or something like that.
Sir, would you know him if you saw him?
Probably.
And then kind of looks around, thinking if people are okay about talking about enchantments, they probably wouldn't be too weirded out. And he conjures up the same illusion that he did for the students. Is this him?
The dwarf seems a little taken aback by the illusion, not in a offended sense, just surprised, because he hadn't been expecting such a thing. But when he looks at the illusion, he kind of squints and tilts his head a little bit and says, "That does look a fair amount like him. Yes, I think his different hair, but
Do you know where he's staying?
no, he came in town and was selling scrolls. He looks up as though thinking, a day or two ago he was here. I haven't seen him today, but that doesn't mean anything. I've been busy.
Has he been here before, or is this the first time he's come?
I don't remember seeing him here before, but magic being no longer a cause for vanishment is a relatively new thing, so we haven't seen a great deal of magic here yet. I mean, we're ways away from the capital. He laughs a little bit.
That makes sense. Eden kind of looks to the rest of his party. You've been very helpful. He looks to Zima. Do you have any more questions?
No, I never had any questions. You had the questions. I got the dwarf.
Thank you for your help, sir.
You're welcome.
Zima picks the dwarf back up,
Just
carries him
Zima,
into the back room,
Zima!
sets him in front of his barrel, pats him on the back, and says, "Thank you," and then leaves.
The poor guy's just like flailing, and like partway into the back room, he just sags and seems to accept his fate. Like, oh, I guess this is just maybe this is a half-orc cultural thing.
Zima, you
Like a
don't-
ragdoll cat, he just droops.
Zima, you can't just pick up dwarves.
you can't just pick up dwarves.
No, you're not supposed to throw dwarves. You can carry them anywhere.
With
You're
consent.
not supposed to kick gnomes.
You're
That's
supposed to.
gnomes, Zima.
I carried him out, so I carried him back. I didn't want him to have to walk. I was being polite.
I see.
Zima, he has 2 legs that he can use.
Right, but it seemed impolite to make him use them.
And he
I feel
just
like
buries
impolite
his
isn't the
hands.
word that you're searching for.
My DM is currently red. I don't know if you can see it on camera. It's red.
I think we murdered her.
I may be right.
TM.exe.
My brain just made the Windows errors and the boom.
Regrets
maybe-
you have many.
In the future, Zima, maybe if they're shorter than me, don't pick them up.
Fine, I will try to remember.
Thank you. And if you do want to pick one of them up, ask.
But everyone was just wasting time. Maybe we should ask the questions. Oh no, he went away because Zima asked him a question. Oh, what are we going to do? So I went and brought the dwarf.
And that was a very efficient thing for you to do. Manners, though, and tact, can get answers too.
Let me ask one question.
Mhm.
Did you or did you not get your questions answered?
I didn't ask any questions, I'm just saying.
Everybody.
We could have gotten them answered in 5
Did
minutes.
you or did you
Zima.
not get your questions answered?
Zima, that is not the point.
Zima gets results.
Avi would like to. Avi would very much like to go to the bar, if the bartender is even remotely there, and ask for a very large container of alcohol.
You don't her to drink, Zima.
That needs to be a t-shirt. Yeah.
Might I be able to purchase such a thing?
He walks out in front with a dwarf size, a very large pint, like the size of Aviara's head, full of very strong dwarven ale, and slides
That
it
is
to her.
exactly what I needed. I'll leave coins. I have a coin. How
Yeah.
many coins?
He tells you the price and you pay it. Don't worry.
Cool. I will very carefully pick up this gigantic tankard and walk it across the room and put it in front of Zima. I got you this.
Yeah. Thank you, but I can't pick that up. It's more than you.
I'm
It
picking
is
up.
not a person, Zima.
I know, it's just funny to watch her sigh so much.
Evan comes over and just kind of pats Aviar on his shoulder. Just pets her hair. It's okay, darling. It's okay.
Morda smartly decided to stay quiet this whole time, but his face has been very expressive about this whole situation.
I figured you'd be blowing kisses to the dwarfs that you were flirting with.
Eventually the bartender
Evan just
does
kind
come.
of, come here. And he just pets on Mordu's head too. It's okay.
Eventually the bartender does return with a rather nice slab of what looks like either mutton or something red for the dog on a plate, and slides it under and says to Eden, your water is heating.
Thank you
so-
so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
He
Thank
gives
you.
Zima a lot of side eye before kind of scuttling back over to the bar here, where he
Excuse me, Mr. Bartender Man.
he stops and just freezes and just turns around slowly.
You've ruined a
I was
perfect
told that I should
introduction.
not. I was told that I should not pick you up without permission, so I apologize.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I thought it might just be some sort of strange half-orc greeting ritual, but thank you. And he scuttles back over to the bar, looking more confused than stressed, but calmer.
There, are you happy now?
Thank
I
you.
actually am. Thank you.
And
Now
Zima
drink
goes
your
over to
ale.
Mortu's just face palming the entire time, like, no, no.
I don't know any of these people.
Not my business.
Our Aviara is wishing she never agreed to this.
I'm just gonna take the steak and I'm just gonna focus on Frost for a little while.
Because he's not
I'm
going to
the
pick up any
opportunist
dwarves.
party that stays with the dog.
On that note, is there anything else you'd like to do before you spend the night? The tavern is still there's still people milling around. It's still quite active. There are a number of folks hanging out in there, other than the poor beleaguered bartender.
Eden's just gonna go back to performing and try to get more money.
Fair enough.
More flirting with dwarf women.
For the most part,
Yeah, you were fine.
for the most part, Zima spends the evening kind of keeping an eye on people, seeing if there's anybody that ever comes in or out that looks out of place,
Okay.
or people kind of, having little whispered conversations in back corners or something.
There are a couple of people who seem to be having rather intense but quiet conversations off to the side at a number of points in the evening.
Try to take note of them.
Okay.
See if anybody stands out, really.
One of them is a dwarven woman with a great deal of ornamentation in her beard, like really expensive stuff. She's speaking to a man who looks like he's wearing far less ornate clothing. They seem to be having some kind of argument. It's quiet, though, so you don't know exactly what they're saying from your distance. I think you're broken.
I feel like that's something that Mordo would be interested in with all of that ornamentation and his flirting.
Absolutely.
It's definitely stealth.
Stealth. Let's stealth. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's get closer, gently.
All right.
Just casually.
Casually
Walk here.
slide up there. Should I roll for stealth?
Yeah, roll for stealth. Eden's performance isn't quite as good as last time, though people do seem to enjoy it. He's kind of put off by the whole carrying the dwarf into the back room situation. That has his brain a little bit, a little foggy. Mordu just kind of slides through the crowd to get closer to this conversation. Nobody notices him at all. He's just very it's one of those like cartoon moments where just
It's like he has the extendable ear.
Yep. Given the conversation a good listen. Try to pick up important stuff.
It seems as though the woman had ordered something delivered from Scaevolanum that the other man has not delivered. He keeps asking her for more time, and she says that she doesn't want to give it to him. It's some kind of very expensive, very valuable something, though they aren't saying what.
More to slide back to the table they were all sitting at, where presumably Aviana and Zima still are, and conveys this very important information.
But what? Why is that important?
Because they're... What? Go ahead.
Well, I thought we were here for the scary person.
I thought we were trying to figure out who was connected to the gyms and the mage in Eden's hand. Seems like they're all connected. Any information about it is important to me.
You're probably not wrong. But what? I mean, wait, how? I got nothing.
English just stopped.
I got nothing. He tells them about it, lets them draw their own conclusions.
Yeah, Tanya just stopped responding.
Tanya, yes, he has stopped responding.
Yes. Since Eden's performance isn't nearly as robust as it was before, and he seems to be playing a slightly subdued, he could probably hear because he's nearby. And he looks to the man that is arguing with the woman to see if he recognizes him.
He doesn't look particularly familiar, but now he's looked at him pretty closely, he'd be able to pick him out of a crowd in the future.
Makes note of that.
But yes.
Is there any residue of gems or magic that might be perceptible on him?
Make an Arcana check.
Nope.
Ed has no idea. The dice hate you guys tonight.
Yes.
To be fair, I'm not proficient in Arcana.
That's fair.
After some thought, he goes back to Aviara and says, I think this man arguing may be connected with the mine carts and things. Just a hunch, though.
Okay.
It's making conversation.
Is this person within eye shot? Visual,
can
like line of
absolutely
sight.
Yeah, you can absolutely see her. Like that's.
Avi would like to look at.
Oh, Discord is frozen.
Are they
Oh,
good?
okay.
Do something
Sorry. Say again. My Discord just froze and stopped for a second.
Yeah,
Mine did too.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, the server's having a
Whew.
tantrum.
Abby said she was going to look at the man's hands to see if it looked like he had been doing like pulling a cart work or if he was all soft and fancy.
All right. I'm not gonna make
What
you
should-
roll for that because it's kind of obvious. Yeah, it looks like he's the kind of guy who does work. He doesn't just sit.
Work,
at a
work,
desk
labor,
somewhere.
labor.
Would she be able to see any residue of magic or anything like that?
She
I
can
don't
take
have
a look.
I
you
mean-
can try Arcana. I mean, you're a caster of your own right, so
Yeah.
be able
You
to
might.
sense something, but not necessarily.
mean, I
know
did-
what it means.
Wow, I'm only just now remembering where I grew up, but that was the school of magic. So we're just gonna look.
It's okay. It's been a long stream. It's been a long stream. We're good.
It's fine.
I totally know my backstory, guys. What?
You and me
Aviara
both.
does have a sense of magic about the guy. Like either he's carrying something or is a caster himself. He's obviously not the necromancer you're looking for, but he does seem to be a magic user of some kind.
Okay.
It's all connected.
I picture Mordu as the guy at the cork board with all the
Yeah.
strings. Like,
Then there's the water,
yeah.
and then like, the necromancer's somewhere. We don't know where yet. But these two people over here, just quietly though, so nobody can hear.
Right.
These two people over here, something with the crystals and maybe the monster and the golem. It's all connected.
So Eden stops his performance at the end of his piece, and he casually makes his way. Are they over by the bar area arguing?
Yeah, they're over standing near the bar.
He makes his way casually over to the bar, leaving his pack slightly visible to see if there's any reaction to the gems inside.
The woman determine it before she looks over, and when she does, her eyes widen a little bit, but she doesn't say anything. She just continues arguing with the guy.
And Eden just listens since he's no longer being a person of interest. He's just kind of.
Okay. Are you trying to do it like?
What's the
Don't mind me.
argument
Carry
going
on with your very incriminating conversation.
Are you trying to be subtle about it, or?
Yes, I'm trying to be.
Subtle.
Yes. Do go on. Roll stealth.
I'm riveted. Do go
And
on.
just like pulls a crystal out of his pack and starts chewing on it, staring at them.
I mean, with that roll.
They don't immediately seem to notice Eden right now. They're kind of wrapped up in their argument. Though he does worry about getting much closer because it would be like, just bar stool hopping, just one closer every. Probably not smart.
Staying there,
Um,
making sure that they can see inside of his shiny bag.
the woman does seem to be arguing with the guy. She's now saying, "Look, they were able to get them. Why couldn't you?"
Oh,
Oh, told you so.
I stand corrected. I just believe in goodness and that people aren't all trying to take advantage of everyone else.
Yeah.
To be fair, they haven't said anything really nefarious yet. She was just expecting a delivery that hasn't arrived.
But then this one was all like, oh, and this yarn goes over here, and this yarn, and then there was.
It's all connected.
Really, Mordu is just trying to take up knitting, and it went badly.
Got caught in his horns all of the time.
There you
Yarn
go.
Thulu has arrived.
That's why his hair's so poofy.
There you go.
Yarn Thulu.
So how is the dragon connected?
I haven't gotten that far yet, but we'll figure it out. Something to do with the golem.
I think maybe we should follow these guys once they leave.
That sounds
Yeah, sounds like a smart idea.
fine. That sure they wouldn't suspect anything.
I... Having heard a little bit of the argument, he goes back to his party and sits down, hearing the tail end of Zima. Perhaps he points to Murdo. Maybe he should.
He was just
How
funny.
tall are these people? Just out of
They're
curiosity.
dwarves. They're like, 5.
Shorter than Avi.
Yeah. They're like 5'4", 5'5". They're not very tall.
I meant being sneaky following them. I wasn't saying just go out in a group and follow right behind them.
Sometimes it's hard to tell with you.
Zima here about as subtle as a bull in a china shop, so sometimes we just need to make sure.
When was the last time Zima got any of us in trouble?
He
How many times has Zima gotten us? How many times has Zima gotten us out of trouble?
all
Oh,
of them.
look at that. So, maybe we listen to Zima.
When it comes to things other than picking up actual sentient creatures against their will, yes, we will listen.
I will be happy to follow
Let
them.
me hide
But
behind you, Zima. Oh, go fight the monster, Zima. Oh, help us get through the woods, Zima. Don't pick up the dwarves, Zima.
I feel like there's a difference.
He's always something.
The two who were arguing are now leaving, by the way.
And indicates quickly to the people who are leaving.
Gonna stealth after those guys.
All right, go ahead and roll your stealth.
I am not going to stealth after those guys.
Smart decision.
It doesn't look like Mordo
Yeah,
stealthing after them either.
Either. God dang, these dice today.
Mordo, he gets up and walks to the door and just and promptly knocks something over.
Great.
However, they don't they glance back, but it's not that unusual that somebody's walking out of the tavern, so they don't seem spooked by it, though they do leave and kind of scuttle off. Mordu steps outside and watches them walk across the square into one of the buildings that looked like nobody was home earlier.
He pokes his head back into the bar. Guys, come on. Come on.
And looks forlornly over where his warm bath is.
It's still heating. It's gonna take a little while.
He just sighs and looks out into the wet and looks back into the wet.
Buy a cloak for crying out loud.
Anyway, they went into that house. Who gestures to the house that they went into?
It was one of the buildings that was not too far from the cart that Zima saw.
Zima points out the cart.
Ah. He nudges Aviara. See? It's connected.
Well, I understand that it's connected, but why are we in the rain? Are we just gonna go knock on their door and say hi? Did you take some stuff?
I mean,
I
we
could,
could do that.
I could
Zima,
break
you
the
cannot
door
be
down.
That was not a challenge. That was a genuine question.
And
What are we hoping?
He is not in the wet. Still in the warm.
Well, since you guys are kind of running your heads against the wall, why don't we call it here? It's almost 9:30. It's 9:21, so we can call it here and then let some ideas percolate and give Steph more time to come up with horrible conspiracies. That's the point of this plan.
Sounds
We'll
good.
replace the video with that picture next time.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need art of Mordu standing and pointing at the wall,
Exactly.
You know what? Steph can draw that.
Steph,
I
I
can.
nominated you.
I vote this episode is called Zima Gets Results.
Zima does get results.
Not always good ones, but he certainly gets results anyway.
No, you
He
cannot
certainly
eat
gets
the
results.
dwarf.
And on that note, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for staying with us through all of our technological issues tonight. We look forward to seeing you next
Thank you.
week. If anybody would like to help us do closed captioning on our YouTube, please let me know. I'm hoping that we can get help for that because it has to be done manually, and I do not have the time or brain power to do that. But if anybody's interested, we would love it. I think that is everything right now, unless anybody else has anything. We hope that Patrick feels better.
Yes.
And again, happy birthday to Glitch. We love
Thank
you.
you.
Happy
Glitch.
And huge thanks to Behind the Glamour for helping us mod this week. She's been a great help, so thank you so much. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.